Ban the whole chat. Just ban everybody. Ban everybody. We're doing a hard reset. What?
Hey guys, so you know how fandoms are supposed to be communities for people to bond and connect over their love for certain media with art, videos, analysis, fanfiction, you name it? Well, how about we throw all that out the window and instead tear each other down for having different interpretations or not fully understanding our precious Blorbo or having a headcanon we don't like? How about we drag people through the dirt over different headcanons and interpretations because we can't handle other opinions and have to make it problematic somehow? Now listen, here's the boring disclaimer. This is not a fiction never affects reality. Let people enjoy things, even creepy, depraved things, because it's just fiction argument. I don't vibe with everything just because it's fiction. I think that harmful ideas and stereotypes being pushed through fiction and fandom are worth discussing. But these are not discussions. It's people getting into pointless slap fights, condescending each other, and tearing each other apart over harmless interpretations of their precious faves. Also, I'm very angry in this video, but most of it is exaggerated for comedic effect. My points are genuine, but the way I deliver them is dramatic for the funny. I want you all to take a look at this. This is from 2 years ago, when someone respectfully disagreed with the way I phrased something and proceeded to explain why. Normal human behavior, right? Now keep this in mind as we go through all the shit I'm gonna talk about in this video. I'm using Toontown Corporate Clash as an example in this video, but this happens in every fandom, and many have a much worse case than Clash.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
What I really can't stand is the people who talk about how bad discourse is and how they want to avoid it when they are literally the ones instigating. Why is it that the people who bitch about other opinions, interpretations, and headcanons are the same people who complain about discourse? Why is it that the people who are incredibly condescending and accuse everyone of being illiterate are the same people who complain about infighting? Why is it that the people who make anything and everything a moral issue are the same people complaining about fandom drama? People seriously have a problem of not assuming the absolute worst in everyone around them. Like, people will just assume if you headcanon a certain character to be trans or have a certain disorder or anything under the sun, that there must be something wrong with you. Everyone's arguing about which opinions are right and which opinions are wrong. Nobody actually wants to discuss anything. They just want to be condescending towards one another and accuse each other of genuinely terrible shit. No mercy, no room for discussion, no room for understanding, just berating people and treating every different opinion like it's some kind of judgment on the quality of someone's character, or like they have some kind of moral and or intellectual failing. They don't even want to spend the 2 seconds it takes to say, hey, I think you may have enforced a harmful stereotype with this or something. Nope, just straight to this person is evil and must have done this out of malice. Everyone is wrong about my favorite character. I remember seeing someone say, if you think Cathal, this fella, is a teenager or young adult, you're infantilizing him. The post was basically saying you're problematic and something's morally wrong with you for thinking a fictional character is fucking college age. Infantilization isn't inherently about age. It's about belittling someone and treating them like a stupid, incapable baby who can't do anything themselves, to put it bluntly. It is not when someone else personally interprets a character to be like 18 or 19 instead of 45. Not to mention the disrespect this post implied about teenagers and young adults, acting like they're somehow less capable or less intelligent than the rest of the world. And if that's not what they meant, then what is wrong with thinking a fictional character falls into that age group? I am going to shit myself. It has been a while since this nasty ass take got thrown around, so I hope the individuals who made and engaged with that post have changed their minds and feel shame whenever they look back, because what an absolute Looney Tunes take. I get that it's Toontown and you're supposed to be silly, but not that silly. There is artistry to just how fantastically bad that post was, and what it implied about teenagers, young adults, and anyone who had a different interpretation of a character that looks like the motherfucker from Just Dance 3. The only screenshot I could find was this little gem of a reblog that basically says you're weird and implies there's something wrong with you if you think Cathal is under 27. What a fucking joke. These people really thought they were holier than thou for thinking the cogs were a certain age. Wow, you are such a good person, doing such noble things for our community by thinking a character is pushing 30 and tearing down anyone who doesn't perfectly align with your beliefs. This person had grooming allegations, by the way. Oops! The only infants around here are the people who made this post and encouraged it. Pray to God they all realized how foolish they were acting. This is a pretty old take, but it will continue to stand the test of time as one of the worst things the fandom ever shat out its ass cheeks. This is a perfect example of people who could care less about the problem they're addressing. These people don't give a diarrhea dump about real infantilization. All they care about is being morally superior and correct about their blorbo, even if it means tearing down and villainizing real-ass people in the process. Two can play at this. Everyone gather round. Hear ye, hear ye. I am here to decree that I am the official CEO of Kathleen and Graham. They are my OCs. Anything I say goes, and if you don't agree with my exact interpretations of them, you will be sent to the dungeon. Flint is also my friend's OC, so I will be speaking on her behalf. The same rules apply. Cathal and Graham have a sibling rivalry dynamic. Graham and Flint met as adults. Cathal is like 19 to 21. Sue me. Flint loves to talk shit, and Graham has mommy issues. If you disagree with any of my correct opinions, you should kill yourself now. Like, y'all aren't the good people you think you are. You're just toxic, unforgiving, relentless, and egotistical. Headcanons are not enough to determine the quality of someone's character, but bad behavior and poor actions are. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. If you actually cared about these problems and spreading awareness, wouldn't you take a second to discuss it with these people like a normal civil human being, instead of prioritizing your superiority complex? If it seems like I'm cracking down way too hard on this post, you're right. It's because I'm not just talking about this post. The post, in a way, is a representation of this common recurring attitude with several harmless interpretations and headcanons. Just draw the blorbo and shut the fuck up. Now let's get into the recent examples. There was actually a whole Tumblr blog that perpetuated a ton of this toxic behavior and did nothing to moderate it. Now, it does look like they might be changing some rules and backpedaling, but it doesn't make them exempt from criticism, especially because their way of taking accountability almost always involved an attitude. I do not encourage any harassment towards this person. If you know who I'm talking about, if you claim to hate drama and discourse and then go attack them, you're a jackass. I bring it up because it's extremely relevant to most of the recent toxicity in this fandom. Again, they might be changing things up. I cannot say, for I have them blocked. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Basically, there's this confessions blog for askers to submit confessions that was going around in the main tags. This blog would post like 15 times a day and main tag every post, which means all of their asks would go into the main TTCC tag. So, okay, I guess that's a little annoying. It just floods the main tag. Why not just block them? Well, my dear viewer, this is no mere confessions blog. It's basically just a discourse hellscape that takes a bunch of asks of people complaining and bitching about headcanons and all the other shit that I already talked about. People will even fight each other using the ask feature on this blog. Like, one person will send an ask, another person will send an ask in retaliation, and they go back and forth like that. And the blog owner just keeps approving them mindlessly despite having a rule against discourse. And how does every single one of these discussions end, you may ask? Well, they usually end with someone saying, "Sorry, I misunderstood. Hey, let's actually discuss this like people." Wow, it's almost like if you sat down and actually spoke to your fellow human beings. Instead of jumping at them and assuming the absolute worst intentions in them, you could avoid 90% of the discourse in this community. What a revelation. Watching these fucking dogs have the same stupid-ass debate over and over, seeing that it wasn't really that big of a deal in the end, and then still repeating the same behavior again, makes me want to rip my hair off my scalp and feed it to my dog.
You like that? Huh? You like that? Wah! You just tune this out, don't you? Wah! Well, tune this out. Wah! Ah! Ah! Shut up!
It's not just the blog owner who needs to be put in their place, though. It seems that ship has already sailed. I'm talking about the termites infesting this blog who need to be called out, too. So many people use this blog as a safe space to bitch and complain and argue because someone dared to interpret their favorite character differently, or phrased something in a way they didn't like, or had a headcanon that they chose to beef with. And then all these people want to turn around and complain about discourse in the fandom and how they love the fandom as if they're not the fucking problem. Bro, I'm gonna draw you pregnant. Oh wait, I can't because all these cowardice egomaniacs mark themselves anonymous. You wanna talk all this garbage and then hide behind a pair of tacky sunglasses, you intergalactic piss stains. Not to mention the insane condescending attitude some of these people have. This is literally level 2 Flint knowledge and I will literally shove you through a meat grinder. All these people do is whine and complain. They're incapable of talking about their favorite characters without putting other people down in the process. And then they want to turn around and preach about media literacy and intellectualism to justify their nasty behavior. If you're really so smart, you should be able to prove it without being a toxic, condescending titty muncher. And it's not even about being smart, it's about enjoying the media together. I am going to drink 5 cups of coffee and eat a family-sized spicy Popeyes chicken meal and then take the nastiest diarrhea shit on your front porch. Whether you have a different opinion, you phrase something in a way they don't like, you got a headcanon, or God forbid just make a mistake about their favorite character, these people are completely relentless. They act like they made the goddamn character. There is no room for conversation. It's straight to, you're illiterate, have a nice day. This is morally bad, have a nice day. You must have been insinuating something awful with this, have a nice day. Bro, I'm gonna eat you alive. I'm sick of people in fandoms flaunting around how correct they are about their favorite character as if it means a goddamn thing. Don't get me wrong, I love being passionate about fictional media and actively encourage it, and there is nothing wrong with lighthearted jokes either. I literally have CEO of Kathleen Graham on my bio just for the shits and giggles. It's when you have this genuine, pretentious, holier-than-thou attitude that it gets on my nerves. They think they're so special for being right about a Toontown character. I have taken shits that are worth more praise than anything that comes out of your fat-ass mouth. So sit down, talking all this trash like you're all that and a bag of chili cheese Fritos, and then you don't even have the guts to turn off the anonymous feature. Who the hell are you? That's another problem, allowing these people to remain anonymous. This toxic behavior ran rampant because these turd lickers got to talk shit without receiving any consequences or being called out or at least giving us a free block list. Most of these people would not be talking out their asses the way they are if they didn't have the option to stay anonymous. If you are going to run a drama blog, don't let anyone be anonymous. Let us see them for who they really are. I guarantee you 90% of them will suddenly have nothing to say. This kind of behavior is everywhere in every fandom, but I think this drama blog is just a really good example. It encapsulates all of it in one nasty space, giving these people a place where they can feel comfortable and be validated for being the insufferable muppets they are. All these people want to do is argue and bitch each other out and complain about everything and villainize everyone because they think it justifies their irrational anger. All they know is whine, talk shit, eat hot chip, and lie. Buddy, you're not in the fandom, you're in the Moral Olympics echo chamber. You think that everyone's in love with you when actually everybody hates you. So why are you still crying about strangers in fandoms over a character you both like? I'll tell you why, because you are a mean person. You're a bitch. Allison, you can still just block the blog. Blocking isn't enough! I want them dead! Nah, I'm kidding. Obviously, I and many others who are tired of having the peace disturbed have them blocked, but I'm still gonna call out dookie behavior for being dookie behavior. Plus, it's just a really good example and has all the toxicity in one spot, and it just makes it easier to make this video, so yeah. Also, another disclaimer, I understand being a hater. I do be a hater sometimes. I see takes I don't like or think are ridiculous. But I hate from the comfort of my own private friend group like a normal person. If you are going to be an insufferable knob, do it in private or at least make it funny. This isn't funny, it's just people ruining the fun for everybody and genuinely thinking they're in the right for it. You wanna know something actually funny? I did interact with this blog at some point before it became clear to me how toxic it was. I actually left them an ask. And do you wanna know what it was? It was actually a confession on how I used to be toxic in the fandom like these people. How ironic. Yeah, I used to be toxic in the community too. All I gave a fuck about was being correct and morally superior and everyone seeing me as right. And to tell you why, honestly, not very unexpected, but I was just really insecure and a loser. I actually became insecure upon entering this fandom because people already acted like this everywhere I went. So I felt this pressure to be better than everyone else, and I always had my guard up and I saw every analysis or something as a competition. It was so stupid. I was pathetic, especially for being an adult. Embarrassing. The same goes for all y'all who act like this. Here is a little tip. Before you make a post shitting on people and assuming bad intentions, think to yourself, wait a minute, did I actually ask any of these people what their intentions were? Did I actually take a moment to sit down and have a conversation with them regarding the headcanon and discussing it with them? If the answer is no, kindly take your L and sit down. You do not know these people. You cannot make an entire psychoanalysis on somebody's character based on a gay headcanon or something. It feels like people just aren't allowed to make mistakes in these spaces. You're only allowed to think a certain way, and if you fall out of line, something is fundamentally wrong with you. As if that grease-fingered, knuckle-dragging loser on the internet has any authority over who is or isn't a good person. Like, who even are you? Take off the sunglasses, then we'll talk. So I am here to propose an idea. Here is how we solve all the discourse. You listening? We'll go ahead and split this up into two groups. This will be the fandom of people who actually want to critically and kindly discuss and connect over the media they enjoy. And this will be the echo chamber of people who are only here to bully others into agreeing with them. If you are being incredibly condescending and holier than thou about your opinion on certain media, you belong in the echo chamber. If you are assuming the absolute worst morals in complete strangers based on their opinion or headcanon, to the echo chamber with ya. If you only want to talk about your characters for the sake of being correct and spiting other people and not out of genuine love for the fandom, echo chamber. If you are straight up exaggerating the lore of certain media just to make someone else's analysis look like it came from a bad place, where all they did was acknowledge an aspect of your fave and give their thoughts on it that dared to contradict yours, to justify your temper tantrum because you are still mad after a year and a half? Honestly, at that point, it might just be time to delete social media and step off the internet, dude. Since you all think you're so much better than everyone, you get to have your own little space to complain about harmless takes that you disagree with. Now stay there and be a negative Nelly with all the other negative Nellies and leave the people who actually want to be a community alone. If you want to actually have discussions with other people and connect over your love for the media, then congratulations, you're actually a part of the fandom. Thank you for being normal people. And again, shout out to this person who respectfully disagreed with part of my take, whereas these types of people would gladly drag it through the dirt and make it a statement on who I am as a person. I'm out. I just wanted to complain because I see this behavior run rampant and go completely unchecked in a lot of fandoms. People don't condemn them enough for their bad behavior. Lack of media literacy is a discussion to be had, but that's just it. A discussion. I'm not against discussing problems in fandom. But I am against slap fighting and bitching about this, especially when it's completely harmless and it's just a you problem. For Toontown Corporate Clash specifically, I get that this is definitely a minority, it's not the entire community, and I have greatly exaggerated this video because it's funny. With all that negativity out of the way, I would like to call attention to some of the nice people I played the game with and talked to in the community. There have been times where I have had nice, civil conversations with others, and we genuinely bonded over our enjoyment of a character. And it would even open my mind to new ideas at times. Wow! There have been times I made friends with people in the game and we played and fought battles that left me with wholesome memories I hold on to this day. I'm literally going to leave. This is bullshit. This is a bunch of—
Hold up.
I think with my own toxicity and also the shithole blog lately, it has seemed like this behavior makes up the whole community, but I know logically that's not true. There are some nice people and wonderfully talented artists as well. Like me. Follow me on Tumblr, I post Kathleen Graham propaganda and occasionally other shit. I feel like I missed out entirely on the good part of the fandom because for half the time I've been here, I was the toxic asshole. Nowadays I just post art and don't really talk to anyone, it's kinda sad. I want to post analysis about characters, but at the moment, I'm just discouraged because I'd rather not get burned at the stake for happening to draw a different conclusion from canon information than someone else. Anyways, thank you for listening to me complain, and please, behave yourselves in fandom spaces where people. Goodbye.